You know what Frank Sinatra did one time? Remember Lee J. Cobb, the actor? He was laying in a hospital with a heart attack and everything else.
Ernest Borgnine names the 7 actors he hates most, and wait till you hear who takes the crown. The winner once tried to drown him on a Mexican river set. Ready? Picture 1955. Spotlights blaze inside the Pantages Theater. Golden confetti spirals downward, and a beaming Ernest Borgnine clutches his brand new Oscar for Marty. Cut to 1968. Dust whirls across a Spanish hillside while blank-firing rifles snap, and Borgnine storms off set, snarling at a certain leading man whose arrogance could sink a battleship. Could you imagine seeing America's smiling everyman lose his temper like that? Hollywood loves to polish legends, but under the lacquer lie turf wars, bruised egos, and blacklists written in private diaries. So today, we tear open Borgnine's once secret notebook. 7 names, 7 sizzling stories, each more ruthless than the last. Smash that subscribe button if behind-the-scenes feuds are your guilty pleasure, but keep your sound on low. Some of these outbursts still echo through studio hallways. Hamden, Connecticut, 1917. Fresh snow clings to tenement roofs, while Italian immigrants Anna and Camillo Borgnino welcome a broad-cheeked baby boy they christen Hermes Ephron. Hard winters, harder work, and louder Sunday dinners forge a kid who learns to project his laugh over clanging factory whistles. His mother, a magnet for neighborhood gossip, fuels his taste for storytelling. His father, a devoted masonry worker, teaches him discipline in granite and blisters. By 13, Ernest is selling newspapers, pocketing coins, and studying people, copying their swagger, timbre, and sly insults. World events, however, have no regard for adolescent dreams. The Great Depression closes mills, freezes wages, and forces the Borgnino household to stretch minestrone for 3 meals. Poverty bakes toughness into Ernest's bones the way a blacksmith tempers iron, with heat, hammer, and time. 1941. Pearl Harbor shatters American complacency. 20-something Ernest, restless and searching, enlists in the U.S. Navy. For nearly a decade, yes, decade, he rides destroyers across both oceans, greasing engines under typhoon spray, learning chain-of-command discipline, and discovering that a single dirty joke told at the right moment can keep a whole crew sane. Ironically, the war's violence teaches him tenderness. The Navy's regimen gifts him the posture that will one day hold a screen close up like an anchor grip. Discharged in 1945, he flips a coin. Factory life or fresh start? His mother's voice. Try acting, you're wasting that grin. Wins. He enrolls in the Randall School of Dramatic Arts, surviving on canned beans and GI Bill pennies. Auditions melt into rejections until suddenly a stock villain role in a touring production of State of the Union lands. Applause rains down. He's hooked. Hollywood finally calls in 1951. On sets, casting directors observe something rare. A man who can be hulking yet gentle, menacing yet magnetic. His breakout arrives with the monstrous Sergeant Fatso Judson in From Here to Eternity, 1953. Audiences hiss at him, then hound him for autographs. Studio execs whisper, if he can make cruelty that believable, what can't he do? 2 years later, Marty detonates. Ernest plays a lonely Bronx butcher so earnestly that even hardened critics sob. He wins both Cannes and the Oscar. Overnight, talk show couches beckon, gossip rags gush, and producers slip 7-figure contracts across polished desks. Yet success sprays kerosene on old insecurities. Some elites still call him the blue-collar brute, crediting luck over skill. Enter romance, stage left, and storms. Borgnine marries and divorces 4 times before age 50. The shortest? A white-hot 32-day roller coaster with Broadway hurricane Ethel Merman. Paparazzi capture their wedding smiles. By week 2, they're trading insults loud enough to rattle hotel ice machines. Friends say Ernest craves companionship, yet distrusts glamour. He wants a fellow traveler, not a critic in pearls. By the 1960s, Borgnine drinks to dull gossip columns, but never misses a 5 a.m. call time. He supports veterans' charities, blasts Hollywood's plastic politeness, and publicly scoffs at actors who treat crews like furniture. The plain-spoken Navy vet becomes a moral barometer on sets, admired by grips, resented by prima donnas. But resentment cuts both ways. Ernest, secretly nursing grudges, begins jotting names in a slim leather notebook. Colleagues who bullied rookies, stole scenes, or risked lives through reckless stunts. He does not intend to publish, only to remember. Decades later, retired and reflective, he flips through those pages for a TV interview and, with a chuckle, releases 7 names. All those battles carved a blacklist into his memory. Late in life, he finally opened that notebook. Here are the 7 biggest jerks Ernest Borgnine could never forgive. Frank Sinatra, the chairman of Chaos, sweltering August 1952, Wahiawa, Hawaii. Palm fronds rustle, and From Here to Eternity shoots its pivotal barracks confrontation. Sinatra saunters in 2 hours late, tosses a crew member's lunch aside, and demands a Cuban cigar during a no-smoking order. Borgnine, already in uniform and sweating through khaki, points to the call sheet. Sinatra smirks. "Relax, sailor, the camera waits for me." A hush falls. Suddenly, Sinatra's entourage cranks a portable record player. Big band blares, murdering concentration. Director Fred Zinnemann pleads for silence. Sinatra winks, lights up anyway. Later that night at the Royal Hawaiian Hotel bar, witnesses claim Sinatra corners Borgnine, accusing him of eyeballing the wrong dame. A shove. Chairs scrape. Clenched fists freeze midair only when a Navy technical advisor steps between them. Studio gossips insist Sinatra feared Borgnine's rising press, to the point of lobbying Columbia execs to trim Ernie's close-ups. He acts like he owns Hollywood. Maybe he thinks he does. Borgnine allegedly mutters while icing a bruised forearm. Moral sting. Stardom without humility curdles into tyranny. But the next name. Sinatra looks saintly beside him. Montgomery Clift, Hollywood's troubled prince. Christmas Eve. 1953. Beverly Hills Villanova restaurant glitters with tinsel and celebrities. Clift, brilliant yet brittle, drains champagne like medicine. Borgnine joyfully waves from the press line. Clift slurs, "There's the brute who gets Oscars for bullying," loud enough to quiet a band. Dinner devolves. Clift compares acting techniques. "I dig into wounds, you swing fists." Crewmen recall Borgnine's ears coloring crimson, but his voice staying measured. "Easy, Monty, we're off camera." Clift retorts, "You're always on. Just ask the Academy." A single flicked bread roll hits Ernest's suit. Back on Eternity reshoots, tension festers. Clift, nursing hangovers, questions blocking, forcing an exasperated Borgnine to restart fight choreography 6 times, risking injury to stunt extras. A prop bayonet nicks Ernie's cheek. An accident, but one Clift never apologizes for. Mailroom whispers claim Monty feared being eclipsed by the very brutality audiences applauded. Talent wasted on arrogance. Borgnine later sighs to a friend while dabbing iodine. Small insults cut deepest when delivered by giants we admire. Yet Borgnine's third feud slices closer to the heart. His own marriage. Ethel Merman, The Broadway Hurricane. June 27, 1964. Lake Tahoe honeymoon suite, 8 a.m. The newly minted Mr. and Mrs. Borgnine plan breakfast. Merman, legendary pipes already warmed, demands lobster thermidor. The hotel kitchen says no. She belts a C-sharp meltdown audible through 6 floors. Week 2. Aboard a Caribbean cruise ship, Merman rehearses her nightclub act in their cabin at dawn, hammering high notes while Ernest tries reviewing a script. He politely asks for quiet. She snaps, "Who'd hire you without my name? Oscar." Week 3. In New York, Merman steals a press luncheon spotlight, announcing she'll play Hello, Dolly. To escape domestic boredom. Reporters laugh. Ernest flushes. The marriage ends day 32 after a Broadway gala. Merman on stage quips, "My latest husband, solid as a rock, until you talk to him." Gasps. Ernest walks out, contacts his lawyer before midnight. Years later, he shakes his head. Ethel's gift was singing. Her curse was talking, he reportedly confides. Moral: love cannot outshout contempt. Still, the next rival threatened not just dignity, but life. William Holden, The Gentleman Thug. Durango, Mexico, 1968. The Wild Bunch sets thrash with blank rounds and blood squib explosions. Holden, vodka-fueled, accuses Borgnine of mugging the lens during a 5-camera shot. After rap, he proposes target practice by the Rio Nazas, except his revolver fires near blanks, chunks of wadding dangerous at close range. Ernest laughs off the idea. Holden, riled, lunges and tries to shove him off a wooden pier into swift current. Crewmen yank them apart seconds before a stunt boat's propellers slice past. Holden staggers away cursing. The next morning's call sheet lists a bruised Borgnine but no Holden. Producers suspend him until sobriety. Locals swear Holden later bribed extras to cheer only his takes. On-set medics confirm Holden's breath reeked of tequila before noon. Actors compete for applause, not funerals, Borgnine spits after filming the final gun battle scene. Violence on camera thrills audiences. Behind it, reckless machismo endangers lives. But Holden's flare-ups pale beside the chilling frost, a Hollywood grande dame cast over Ernest next. Bette Davis, the Queen of Vengeance. 1965, NBC's The Dean Martin Show. Borgnine, slated for a comedic bit, waits backstage. Bette Davis, scheduled second, surveys the lineup and demands producers reorder segments so she needn't share a curtain with that butcher from Marty. Producers cave. Ernest, ever professional, shrugs. During rehearsal, Davis passes him, lifts a cigarette holder and whispers, "Character actors should stay in character." Off screen. The barb sinks deep. A year later, the pair present at the Academy Awards. Davis insists on separate green rooms. When forced onto the same elevator, she rotates her back, murmuring, "That smell?" Ego Ernest's jaw tightens. The live telecast catches Davis refusing to clasp his arm. Tabloids feast. Set historians claim Davis felt threatened by Borgnine's populist charm. Audiences who adored underdogs might ignore the Grand Dame's icy poise. Class is how you treat others. She had none, Ernest tells a hairdresser under his breath. Lesson: titles fade, but kindness, or its absence, brands you forever. Still, Borgnine's penultimate feud involves steel swords and shattered trust. Kirk Douglas, The Gladiator's Grudge. 1958, North Sea soundstage for the Vikings. Douglas, already a titan, flexes creative control, rewriting dialogue and adjusting camera placement to favor his cleft-chinned profile. Borgnine, playing Father Ragnar, delights in the material, until Douglas privately lobbies to cut Ragnar's death speech by half. During a long ship deck rehearsal, Douglas critiques Borgnine's booming delivery as vaudeville roars, tempers fray. That evening, stunt sailors prepare a sword fight. Douglas allegedly swaps Ernest's dulled blade for a heavier prop, knowing its balance is off. The duel begins. Borgnine parries, wrist jolted, nearly tumbling overboard. A safety diver intervenes. Douglas laughs it off. "Just keeping you on your toes, Pop." Producers rule it an accident. Privately, they add medics. Borgnine, galled, finishes the film, but notes later. Some gladiators fight dirtiest once the director yells cut. Envy can masquerade as mentorship, yet for all Douglas's mind games, the final name on Ernest's list embodies pure mayhem. Lee Marvin, the set saboteur. English countryside, 1966. Night shoots for the Dirty Dozen. Rain strokes canvas tents, cast huddles around heaters. Marvin, revered for intensity and feared for moonshine binges, rigs a prank. A demolition charge left over from pyrotechnic tests strapped beneath a Jeep Borgnine will drive in a rehearsal. The gag, loud bang, harmless smoke, supposedly. But Marvin forgets to swap real blasting caps for dummies. Assistant effects man notices sparking wire seconds before ignition, screams, yanks the cable. Jeep survives. Everyone's hearts do not. Borgnine backs away, gasping. Confronted, Marvin shrugs. If he's tough enough, he'll survive. No apology, no joke explanation. Insurance reps threaten shutdown. Director Robert Aldrich forces Marvin into rehab for a week. Another incident. Marvin fills Borgnine's helmet liner with shaving cream just before action, causing foam to blind him as he charges through barbed wire props. Ernest stumbles, gashes a knee, halts production 12 hours. Crew nickname Marvin the Gremlin. Recklessness isn't comedy, Borgnine remarks decades later, voice husky. It's cowardice wearing clown paint. Thus, Marvin claims top slot, proof that talent plus unchecked demons equals loaded dynamite on set. Ernest Borgnine's 60-year career crests on 200-plus roles, a Best Actor Oscar, and a television renaissance in Airwolf that introduces him to a new generation. Yet audiences who remember the toothy grin rarely glimpse the inner ledger he carried, one scrawled with 7 cautionary tales. His private list reminds us that Hollywood's golden glow often hides exposed wiring, fragile egos, and combustible rivalries. But Ernest's legacy transcends vendetta. He demonstrates you can laugh loud, work hard, and still hold others accountable. He forgave, but never forgot, teaching future actors that camaraderie is safety gear more vital than any stunt pad. Listen closely. Film historians now quote Borgnine's curtain call wisdom. Talent sells tickets, but character sells legends and ruins them too. Which feud shocked you most? Sinatra's fiery swagger or Marvin's near-fatal prank? Tell us in the comments, nominate another classic star for our next tell-all, and smash that subscribe bell so you never miss Hollywood's hidden histories. Tomorrow, we expose the actress who blacklisted a future Oscar winner. Don't sleep on it.